ERIQ King, if he doesn't develop to some outstanding, just unbelievable level that we're not foreseeing, but continues to progress and becomes the player that you would expect, based on what you've seen in the numbers that he's posted, is the best Miami quarterback since blank?
The easy answer is since Brad Kaya, just because, I think that people overlook Brad Kaya because of the failings of the program. But you don't come into Miami and start for 3 years and set records and can't play. You know what I mean? Did he have the strongest arm ever? No. Did he end up having a long or any real NFL career? No. But in terms of college quarterback, Brad Kaya was really good. And I think that gets overlooked because the defense let him down. The scheming, Al Golden's chosen defense with his chosen selected defensive coordinator undid multiple games that would have been iconic games for Brad Kaya if he had any kind of defense on the other side. So the easy answer, the quick answer is that if you're talking about all-timers, I would say best since Brock Berlin, who was really good. You can make the argument that better than Brock Berlin, and then you're pushing towards the Ken Dorsey when I was in college era. D'Eriq King is going to be one of the best quarterbacks that we've seen, and he offers a dimension of running that we haven't seen before. And I know that Malik Rozier ran, and I know that N'Kosi Perry can run, and he evaded some people and things like that. We've not seen a dynamic runner like this. This is what people wanted Derek Crudup to be in college. Derek Crudup from Deerfield Beach was the backup for a couple of years at Miami. He got a cup of coffee, in a couple of games. But he's like D'Eriq King's like the evolutionary upgrade. This is a guy who had 600 yards as a wide receiver, 97-yard kickoff return as a touchdown at Houston as a freshman before he was able, before they switched him back to quarterback, because D'Eriq King is 5'10 and a half, 5'11. So of course you're going to try to pull a Tutu Atwell and put him at wide receiver, just do that. But he's better, than that. So D'Eriq King, if he is who he is, and has shown himself to be from high school and college, this is a guy who is going to be, it's going to feel transformational. It's going to feel that he could be one of the best one-season Miami quarterbacks pretty much ever. If he does what he's done and he continues along that path. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, as long as and it doesn't even mean that he needs to really, really upgrade. He just needs to continue along the path that he's been on. He just continue to perform the way that he's done. Again, he's still riding the longest streak of games ever of somebody who's run and thrown for a touchdown. I think it's 15 consecutive games standing right now. If he does that in all the games this year, runs for one and throws for one or more, and then, we get the running game going and the offensive line, like we talked about earlier, there's things to like. There's things to talk about. But yeah, he offers a dimension of running that Miami I don't think has ever seen at quarterback. And it's going, obviously I hope that there is a season, but I think that if the season goes the way that he could be in the rare air of having one of the great statistical seasons in Miami Hurricanes quarterback history.
Brad Kaya, of course, I'm going to spit out numbers that Cam already knows, but for everybody else, started as a freshman.
True freshman.
26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, very productive season, 3,200 yards, 59% completion. The other thing I'm noticing about his career stats is when you average about 8.5 yards per attempt, you're slinging the ball downfield. That number's usually about a yard lower for most decent quarterbacks. And we're talking about an average. So don't think that 8.5, 7.5 is not a big deal. When you're throwing the ball 400 times a season, that's a lot of yardage chewed up. 61% the next year, 16-5 TD to pick ratio, and then 27-7 touchdown to interception ratio, 62%, 3,500 yards his last season. And again, boy, I know we've touched on this, but 2017, he would have been the perfect guy to play with that team and that defense. In 2017 that won 10 straight games and then ran into better teams and whose luck ran out combination. They probably go 13-1, or what was the 12-1? instead of 10-3 would be my guess. The Wisconsin game was close. The Pitt game was obviously extremely close. Clemson was the only team that just completely outclassed them. I'm thinking capable quarterback play, and you don't skate by North Carolina and all the other teams.
I mean, but I will just say that, I mean, even though, yes, I was there in Charlotte and Miami did get our, doors blown off and teeth kicked in that ACC championship game. If Malik Rozier hits Jeff Thomas on that double move, that corner post early in the game, that's a 7-7 game in the first quarter going into the second quarter, and it's a different game. That's all I'm going to say. I know that we lost. I know it was bad. I know they beat us 93-3 in 2 consecutive games in 2005 and 2007, or 15 and 17. I know that. I'm just saying, if we had a better quarterback and he puts that ball on Jeff Thomas as a freshman when he spun his guy around, again, a thing that Jeff Thomas liked to do, that's a thing where that game might possibly have gone differently, not just maybe blown out. Hey, we probably still lose to Clemson. Let me just say that so people don't chop this up and say, oh, Cam said that. No. But a 31-20 game, or, like a 35-24 is a very different endeavor than most of the lower bowl of Miami Hurricanes fans leaving at halftime to go find the bars or go back to the tailgate area, which is what happened at that game. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, because what I'll say is that I would make the same claim. You can't say a quarterback change would make up 5 touchdowns, but 5 touchdowns, you would have to go play by play through the entire game and say, oh, that ball hit the dirt on 3rd and 6. A capable quarterback probably hits it 90% of the time instead of 45% of the time. We keep this drive going, You add it all up. Guys' shoulders aren't slumping down 21-0 because it's actually, 21-17 or whatever. On and on. Who knows?
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. It would have been more competitive. That's all.
Yes.